Alright YouTube, welcome to my channel. So today's going to be the first of 3 videos I'm going to do on automobiles, or on trucks in particular here, on fixes that will save you thousands of dollars. And so it was the help of YouTube that was enabled me to save easily that much money. So I've got my 2012 Ford F-150 here over behind it. I have a 2007 Expedition. Just in the past year, I've had 3 issues with these things. The dealerships, the shop were charging outrageous. In particular, like the SUV, on one of these issues, the cheapest quote I got was $2,100. I fixed it for like 50 bucks. And that'll be another video because today we're looking at my 2012. This got towed in to Ford, to a dealership. And here is what happened. I left work one evening, it's about 5:35, got on a busy highway on the way home, and right in the middle of my commute, the thing just died. It's like shutting the key off, going down the road, and I just coasted to a stop. There was no place for me to get off the road. Cars were all around me. So I coasted to a stop right in the middle of a busy highway at rush hour traffic. And so I called a tow truck. They came out about 2 hours later. I had no place to go, really. I don't have a shop, right? So I just said, okay, tow it to the dealership. So we've all been there. It's like the worst feeling in the world is to take your vehicles to a shop or a dealership and just leave it with them to fix. Because you know they're gonna upcharge you, right? So they called me the next day and said it's going to be a few days before they can get to it. They want to make sure I was good with that. I said sure, because that gave me time to do some research, get on YouTube, and find out what was going on with my truck, and I did. So let's stop here and let's get into this. Let me show you what I found out, what was done, and the real fix on this thing. And I'm going to tell you what the dealership quoted me for a fix on this truck. So hang on and let's get into this. Okay, so let's get into this story here real quick. I know enough that what it sounded like was either it had no spark at all or was not getting any fuel. I've run into that a lot with jet skis. This same thing, it just cranked over and over. And I told somebody, I said, you know, it either lost spark or I'm not getting any fuel. And I suspected fuel, and that was the case here. Let me, if I can get this up one-handed. There we go. So, as I said, it was going to take them several days to get to it. And so I found the problem, and I'll tell you the guy that I found that did a video on this step by step, the Mower Medic 1. Mower Medic 1. So see, I'm not the only guy that does something else, but also can help you with fixes on vehicles. Anyway, the problem is, let me come over here, was fuse number 27 that is normally right in this slot here. This fix on this truck, I think, is the years between 2010 to 2014, that 5-year span. Anyway, on the back of your top of your fuse box here, it tells you where it is, fuse 27, and like I said, it's normally right there. It has been moved to this slot, and I think this is slot 70. Moved here, and that's the fix. So, given these symptoms, it said to check your fuse 27, and so I did. I drove out there to the lot. It was sitting out there, and I raised the hood, and I didn't even have to check it with my multimeter because this thing was charred, the fuse. It's a 20 amp fuse, and so I knew it was blown right away, but I didn't have any fuses, and I wouldn't have replaced it and drove away anyway because I probably wouldn't have gotten back home given how charred this thing was. It would have blown another fuse before I got home, stranded again, right? Anyway, so what I did, I left a note on the truck about fuse 27 is blown, that's related to the fuel pump. And so I left the truck there. And so sure enough, they called They paid no attention to that note, called me a couple days later and said, hey, we looked at your truck, you need a new fuel pump. And before I could say anything, they said fuel pump's gonna be $400. Ford says it's a 3-hour job, so it's hourly rate is $297 an hour, and plus there's going to be shop fees, probably a disposal fee, you know, I don't know, taxes. So we're looking at least between $1,400 and $1,500. And I said, hey, what about this my note I left on it? And at first it was like, what note? Oh, yeah. Well, that's not your issue. So let me show you real quick. I said, well, hey, Ford puts out a fix for that. And here's the issue. They're doing their jobs, guys. I'm not here to bash them. This is what they're told to do to basically upcharge you on this. But when I told them there is a Ford fix for this, that changed the whole conversation. So here's the packet that they gave me after I picked it up. This part number here is EL3Z. You can't see it because they ripped it there, but it's EL3Z 14293A. That is the part number for when you're blowing your fuse number 27 to the fuel pump. So we got off the phone and they said, hey, okay, let me check into that. This is a TSB. I don't know exactly what that stands for, except the B is a bulletin. So it's not a recall, but it is a fix because this is a common issue. This is my ticket from the dealership. Now, put this over here to block them. I'm not here to bash them. I went ahead and let them fix it. After I spoke to them, they said they were going to do this. They already had it, and I let them fix it. But there's my total. $294.36 is what I paid instead of the what would have been at least $1,400. And this was 30-minute labor plus the part at $56. This part, if I'd have bought it myself, I would have gotten it around half the $56, but they got to make money. I understand that, so I'm no problem with the $56, but I think I could have gotten it under 30. So there's the fix, and here is also the booklet, pamphlet, whatever that I got from them. So if you can see, it's to rework procedure for 2010-2014 Ford F-150 Fuse 27. And I don't know if they printed this off. They probably did and just gave it to me, but it walks you through it. But you don't need this. If you go to what did I say, the Mower Medic 1, he's going to walk you through it step by step, and I'm just going to show you real quick about what he did. So you just come here, obviously disconnect your battery. You disconnect the battery from the fuse box. You've got clamps here, and you've got a tab right down here. You've got a release that's right down in there, and you're going to just fold your box up to where you have access underneath it, to the wiring underneath it. You pull up the wire, or you find the wire to fuse 27, which is a red and blue wire. You clip it with wire clippers, and the fix, the part that comes, is just a new wire, a higher gauge, I guess, a larger gauge wire to solder onto this wire that's here, and you run it and put a box fuse 20 amp, and you run it to an open slot, which they did here. That's the fix. That's it. So as I said, now this is something in case a mechanic gets in here later. This is telling them that this has been done. Anyway, guys, that was it. This is something I could have done if I'd had the truck at home. I let them do it. They told me it'd be 30 minutes of labor time plus the part, and I was good with that. As you saw, it's $294 as opposed to at least $1,400 at a minimum, I would say. If you can cut and solder a wire, you can fix this. I can't tell if I shut this all the way. I did. So that fix right there easily saved me, what, $1,100? A YouTube did. So if you're having an issue, guys, don't let them tell you it's your fuel pump that is your problem. course, first they want to tell me no, it wasn't the problem, because they said if you put a new fuse in the thing, it's just going to blow that fuse because your pump is going out, and when it's going out, it's drawing more power, and the fuse can't handle it. Now that may be true. I'm not a mechanic, obviously, so there could be a lot of truth in that, but then why would Ford put out a fix for this if it's the fuel pump that's going bad? That's, you know, what I didn't understand. Anyway, I don't want to keep rambling, but I just want to show you the easy fix for this so that you do not have to pay for a brand new fuel pump and 3 hours labor to fix an issue. And you know, here's what probably would have happened. They would put a new fuel pump in, replace that fuse. More than likely I'd have been right back where I was before it was fixed. So all right guys, I hope this was helpful, and hope it saved you money. I hope this is something that you have had this, if this is an issue that you're having, that you came here and you found an answer. It's going to save you a lot of money, as it did me. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next video. There's one more fix that I did myself on here, that the dealership said they were going to have to replace the whole part. No, you do not have to replace the whole part. I'll get into that, show you what I did to fix it, and then we'll do one on the SUV, which I said I was quoted $2,100 for about a $50 fix. So all right, we'll catch you on the next video guys. Thanks.